Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. I'm your host as always, Liam Cross, and you are witnessing the 8th round of Ero F3 Season 8. We are at the Jeddah Corniche circuit in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. 17 drivers, 25 laps, 18 minutes of qualifying yet to go. Very, very excited to see how today pans out. On board with Rireen already. A new driver only just signed up this week. His teammate, Martin Lobb, not here currently, but will be joining soon. Another reserve teammate battling for the coveted Alfa Romeo, pardon my language, seat, as Eddie Mins is not able to participate in F3 anymore due to work. So we should have 18, possibly 19 drivers today. I'm not sure if Connor Plump is able to make it. Connor Plump is serving a qualifying ban today, although if he doesn't participate today, he'll go to the next round, because otherwise the penalty would be useless. And so is Apo serving his final qualifying ban. Very excited to see it. I'm not joined, as you may be able to tell by a co-host today, because my co-host is on track. Yes, his pack has repaired slightly, not too well, but enough that he is able to drive the wheel again, which means we're going to get to see him in F3, stunning us all once again. We thought it wouldn't happen, but it has, and he's into the pit lane. So clearly not a very good starting lap there. May have felt like the McLaren had held him up a little bit, but maybe McLaren feels he got too close. We're going to find out. Either way, we're going to find out who is going next, and it's going to be Captain Emre. Wherever Captain Emre is, I've just found him. Ignore me. Look at Clout. We're going to be on board with our championship leader. Got a podium last time out. He gets a podium wherever he goes, and he's going to come around the final corner to start his lap time. Beautiful stuff. A very, very, very long circuit, I may say, with a whole 27 corners, but we're going to go into the first one, slowing down, hitting the third or second gear actually for the lovely, lovely left-right complex. Into the first sector we go. It's a very, very tight S section, walls wherever you go, very, very easy to lose a car. Look at nearly losing his tyre at the wall, but surviving just about, clipping every curb. Absolutely lovely stuff, getting the power done as Rireen goes pole, currently setting the first lap time. Down to the loop we go. Locking up a tiny bit on those tyres, so that may be a game glitch. Not so sure. Coming out into 6th gear. Going into another chicane. Lovely stuff. As perfect as you could possibly make that corner. Fantastic to see. Just about to exit the 3rd sector now. Into the final few corners. Another left-right. What's it going to be? Ooh, gets on the curb. Body gets caught a little bit on that curb as it's a raised curb, so maybe not the best way of taking that corner, but it still looks like a fast one. As Laxa goes pole with 128.3, very lovely. But into the final corner we go with Lokic. Oh, inch perfect to the wall. Coming out, what's it going to be? Enters 8th gear, short run to the line. It's a 127.8. That is a second ahead of his teammate. That is a fantastic lap. Wow. A 127.8. I'm not sure if even I could do that, and I'm in F1. That is incredible. That may be hard to beat. I'm not going to lie, folks. I'm not sure if people can do it. What can Ivan Karakov do? Can he give it a run for its money? No, he can't. It's a 129.1. Still a very good lap time. That as Apo now serving his qualifying ban. Good to see. Next around the final corner is Rireen, but obviously he's already set the lap time, so won't be punching him. What about Modify King? Don't know. Into the pit lane he goes. I think most people set their first lap time. Yeast going for another outlap though. Can he improve on Lockie's time? It's going to be very tough, but Yeast, he can do it. He went to F4 for a race and won. He got pole and he won the race. I don't believe he got the fastest lap, but 26 out of 27 points. You can't complain. Very, very excited to see what he can do now. Not looking quite as fast as Lockett in the first sector, but a very, very, very stable car there. Nice swing into this complex of corners. Beautiful stuff. It does look very, very fast. What's the lap time going to be? It's a 32.6 in the first sector. Really, really nice. Not quite looking up like Lockett did, so that is good to see. But can he get these following chicanes right? Ooh, a little bit wide there, losing the car ever so slightly into the wall, but is that going to be enough damage to cause him to pit? This lap still looks pretty good. Excited for his return into F3. What can he do in the following chicane? Ooh, just about perfectly done. Very, very similar to Lockheed's time, you have to say. But we only have one corner to go. Turn 27, so many turns. Braking quite early, not quite hitting the curb, or not quite hitting the wall. Maybe a little bit slower on the momentum, but we're going to see what the lap time is. Coming out the final corner, and it's going to put him P6 on 129.2. Lovely stuff, but a second and a half off of Lockheed's time. How dare I compare? How dare I compare the two mortals? Thank you for Britio. I'm hoping you're going to have a lovely time tonight. I've seen you've done a lot of Jenna practice, so should be good to go. But thank you for the support. Owen Yeast hitting the wall on his out lap, so his in lap. Getting it all wrong. Lots of invalidations, not what you want to see. Disappointing, very disappointing, terrible in fact. And Patrick Farger is clearly going for a little bit of a spin somewhere, not entirely sure where. And now, is he blocking? I'm not sure quite what's going on here. Thankfully, Alex Wells, Cameron Don isn't on the lap. Alex Wells, family issue, so we wish him and his family the best while he takes a little break. Real life always overrides ERA. That's not an unfortunate fact of life. Ultimately, this is an esport. It's also a game. But it's good to see people knowing when to stop, knowing when there's more important stuff in the pipeline. Patrick Farger comes into the pits, however, understandably so. Next up, I believe, is going to be Yeast again. Did he go for another lap? No, he didn't. Not much of a surprise, admittedly. But Lolly Viking is down the line, not using much ERS. It's going to be a 129.7 unless I've been caught out by a glitch, haven't I? Okay, I hate this glitch. Yellow flag in a few sectors. I believe that's for Ivan Bilov. Yes, it is. But Rureen appears to be flying down the second sector. Absolutely, that helmet is amazing, may I say. White and gold always works. Add a little bit of red. Perfect struck. Ooh, that was nearly perfect. Maybe that was perfect, I don't know. Nearly looking at the wall, but this is looking like a very, very, very fast lap. Slowing it down for the final corner. Goes a little bit wide, but could that get a better entry on the exit? Staying in fourth gear, hugging the wall, and what's the lap time going to be? It's going to be a 128.6, putting him in P3. Lovely, 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 lovely lap. There's no point comparing anyone to Lockheed anymore. I think Lockheed is simply unbeatable. While Thomas Litwa goes P7 with a 129.1, fantastic little lap himself. Ivan Karakov looking to improve, not quite. And Banks next up. Is Banks on a lap? I don't believe so. It's invalidated anyway. So 129.1. Obviously. No, this game is just broken. I don't like this game. Ivan Karakov not getting the best entry into turn. I don't know. And there's an Alpha Tauri of Captain Emery looking like he's in the wall. Not what you want to see. Cruising to a halt, letting the Mercedes go, letting the following Ferrari of Ivan go. Good to see. You don't want him You do not want to intervene. I'm not Ivan, my apologies, Roreen. Ivan is a bit further back. But what can Temesis do? Pardon my French. Temesis, not on a lap. It appears. Fair enough. Slokic going for another lap. Can he improve? Ooh, nearly identical laps. That is stunning. I'm not going to lie, that is really stunning. Not able to improve, but going as close as you can to an improvement. Alan Karakov next up to cross the line, looking to improve. I think he will. Yes, he does, by 4 attempts, putting in P4, followed by Banks, also exiting the final corner, looking like he made a little tap on the wall. Not quite what you want to be doing, but we're going to see coming across the line. He puts in P3, 128.5. These lap times are very slowly, but surely getting a bit faster. Good to see. Rogerwell, an F4 recruit in P8 currently, putting on a pretty good showing for himself. If you think back to Imola and Monza, both races we saw an F4 driver in the names of Barry Kruger and Pavel Muziak, both winning, beating the competition that was supposed to be better than them. So very impressive stuff. Could it happen again? I don't know. I'm getting the option to use. Now that may be reported. That was really dodgy, Roger. that was. I'm not so sure about that one. I'm not saying it is a penalty. I'm just saying I would refrain from doing that in future, as he now drives through Linus. But not much he can do in that scenario, can he? Next up, Bloody Flyking ready to settle that time as Martin Lobb finally in the session. Nice job, mate. What a fantastic username. Well, I don't know how someone from Slovakia knows about nice job. Who knows? It's a very English username. Reload DR coming through the final corner, looking like this is going to be the first lap time he's getting to set, and where's it going to put him? From P16 on the grid to P12 at 129.6. Could go faster, but a decent lap to begin with. And Ennis 2 temps up or 2 temps down on his previous time. Can he improve? He's got 1 corner to go. He's P11 for now, and nope, he goes into the pit lane. Unfortunate, to say the least. Only a few people out currently, including Captain Emery, who is on an outlap, and Bloody Viking. I don't know if Bloody Viking is, how do I say it? Oh, well, he was on a lap until then, clearly. Front wing is gone. Bloody Viking aborting the lap. Oh, and he's getting all out of shape here, waiting for Patrick Fargo to go through. Good sportsmanship there. Hitting the wall once more, and it's been a terrible lap. Cruising to the pit lane, he now will. Replacing the front wing. Will he have enough time to do another lap? I'm not so sure. We're going to find out. But Demesis and Andreas, all the way at the back, the first people to opt to do a qualifying lap, as see the floods of cars now leaving the pit lane. They've waited a bit longer. Demesis going quite early. He may have 2 laps of fuel. It's always possible. You go one time, doesn't go well. For whatever reason, the lap doesn't go well. And you go, I'm going to dedicate myself to the next lap. And it works. Your tyres are a bit hotter. Yes, you have less tyre wear, but you've also got more confidence. You've done the track more. I'm excited to see where this is going to go. Apo slightly annoyed for some reason, I don't know. Nice job is Martin Lobb. But anyway, we've got more important things to talk about today. Temesis coming down to the final corner, heavy braking just before the 100-meter board. Lovely stuff. I'm not sure. I believe Temesis is on controller, so this track always going to be a bit of a struggle for him. Beautiful entry into the first sector complex. Going a bit slow, a bit timid, doesn't want to do any wrong. Very, very close to the wall there, however. And now coming down the second straight into the loop-to-loop. Ooh, very composed. Not the fastest lap I've ever seen, but he's making sure not to be dangerous here. It makes sense. He's getting the position ready. Might not be starting too far up the pack, but he's going to exist. Either way, what am I talking about? Absolutely no idea. What is the time for Tomesis going to be exiting the second sector? He's a 1.3 seconds up in his time. Fantastic little from him. What about Andreas? Andreas 8 tenths up in his time. Both looking to make major gains from a very, very low portion, the lowest quarter of the grid. Coming down to the final corner now. Only one corner not to mess up. Tomesis does it beautifully. Fantastic stuff. Looking like he could go P2 on the grid. What's it going to be for the man in Mercedes? P5 and 126.28.6. Looked like it could have been better, but not quite. Andreas next up goes P7 and 1.3. Second improvement puts him P7. There's a Ferrari in the middle sector. Looking like he's ruined his lap. Unfortunate for him. Horvath also starting his lap time now. Who is next across the line? Banks, I believe, but he's not using his ERS. He has one more lap to go. Next up, Roger Well, not using his ERS either. Looked like Andreas and Tomesis went very early compared to the pack. What about Ririne though? Yeah, also ready. Fabrizio, Fabrizio giving support in the comments here. Yeast able to go P8. Not a fantastic lap time from his standards, but a pretty good lap time overall given the conditions. Next up is going to have to be Lodi Viking. He only goes P12. Frank will be starting P16 at best. Next up, Sony Peoples, Neushoff starting his lap time. Okay, so now we get to the real stuff. There's a Linus starting his final lap. Okay, this will be good to see. This will be very good to see. The only man that appears to even slightly be able to beat Lokik Lau is Ero Laxa. Hoping to see a good showing from him. Look out at the bottom of the screen on the mini-map as well for potential faster guys. Captain Emre not able to improve. Next up, Porbeck at 129.7 for him. Stays P15. Ero Laxa improving on his time by 10th. There is a possible showstopper of a lap here. Andreas a bit confused by something. I'm not entirely sure what. Next up, it's going to be Robberwell, going to go to 129.1, followed by Banks, who can't improve on P3. Unfortunate for him. Next up, I believe, is Ririne, flying down the final straight into the pit lane. He goes, not happy with his lap time. Don't know why. Seems to be a little bit of kerfuffle in the final corner, but Patrick Fargo very possibly coming across the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. Next up, Lodi Viking stays P12. Now we're looking on. I have absolutely no idea. But Ero Laxa coming around the final corner. I believe he's been improving on this time. Can he go pole? It's going to be very tight. No, he can't. But it's a... that is going. That is 3/100ths of a second in between the two men at the top. It's a German front row. Sebastian Vettel v Michael Schumacher, eat your heart out. Fantastic, fantastic showing from those two. But one more guy to go, Ennis, who's run out of fuel, clearly. Something went wrong, I'm not too sure, but he was improving going into the final sector. Very, very, very unfortunate for him. And people very happy in the chat, especially Tomesis. Very happy with his lap time P5 here, but either way, look at Clout, pole position once again, not really a surprise at this rate. A 127.8, followed by Laxa, only 3/100ths of a second behind. The second row is made up of Bankston, Ririne, Debutante, followed by Tomesis and Ivan Belov, with Andreas and Yeast behind. Captain Emre and Roger Well make up the points paying positions, followed by Iwin and Lottie Viking, with Ernest and Reload behind. Porbeck and Trunk make up the 8th row of the grid, followed by Apo and Martin Lob, not able to set a lap time. Rounding out the 18 drivers, Connor Plump not turning up, so his qualifying ban will extend to the next round, which, if I am correct, is going to be in the wonderful when is it going to load? Not so wonderful if you're Armenian. Azerbaijani Baku circuit, street circuit. So, yep, people seem very happy. Fabio, good to see you supporting your man. Nice to see a few SCR people joining, if I'm correct. So, nice to see. Formation lap shouldn't be on, so I'm not going to have much time to talk. But if you're enjoying this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, check the Discord in the description below. Join, you could race, you can chat to the drivers, you can get to know me. But if you don't want to join that, you still get to watch the streams. I'm happy to have you. We've got 20 people watching here today. Very nice to see. Jeddah, strategy's very soft medium does work, but a medium hard is preferred, or hard medium, you don't know. But 18 drivers around Jeddah. Nice to see you in the chat, Lentelson. There's always room for a safety car or 2 or 3, admittedly. You never know. But without the formation light up, 5 lights. And away we go for the Ero F3 Jeddah Grand Prix. A fantastic start from Rireen, straight up into the lead of the race. You can't write it. Oh no, actually, my apologies. Looking loud, much faster. Tamisis into P2. His starts are always incredible. 4 wide on the back of the pack. Can't see any carnage happening just yet. Remarkably clean start there. Trunk at the back, playing it cautious. Roger well. As Span, unfortunately, however, not sure what's quite going on. No front wing for him. Porbeck also off the track. Ennis as well, no front wing, so quite a lot of carnage there, actually. But that is to be expected at a circuit with walls this close to the track. You're essentially inside the walls at all time. Look at Clout. Incredible little start from him, it has to be said. I thought he'd been beaten, but around the outside of Rireen, he went. Rireen nowhere to go. Rireen back up to P4, however, just making an overtake on Banks. And now Yeast looking very feisty in that Red Bull, making an overtake on his teammate at the start of this race, and now looking to overtake Banks very, very close to the guys behind. Let's get these tyres up. What tyres is everyone on? Oh, Banks is on the hard tyres since his bad start. Same for Reload DM, Lottie Viking, Iwin, and Martin Lob. Everyone else on the medium tyres. Yeast looking to go down the inside, not quite able to do so. Going to focus on a run heading into turn 1. Was Banks into the pit lane? No, very, very nearly, but not quite. Yeast looking very, very close. Not surprised if he's using some ERS. Is he going to dive it now? No, thinks better of it as Ivan Benov enters the pit lane, obviously for some kind of wing damage. Also followed by Roger Well, Ennis and Porbeck. So 4 cars essentially eliminated already, hoping for a safety car to bring them back into contention. But wondering what's next. Oh, people going a little bit wide. And Porbeck actually opting to stay out. My apologies. If you've got a spinner. It's Patrick Farger. Does he have the front wing? Yes, he does. Is it a safe rejoin? Mostly. Yeah, I'd say that's fine. Trunk getting the overtake on him. A little battle commencing there, going back up to the front of the grid. The lead of the pack, and look at Clout extending his lead immediately. 1.4 seconds to Tamisis behind the championship rivals. Only how many points in it as of right now? There's 46 points. No, that's the wrong grid. My apologies. How many points are in it right now? That's what I want to know. I believe 33, no, 29. 29 points in it, but that's easy enough for Temesis to claw back with a good result or two. Look at Clout just needs to crash, and he's shown to have a few errors up his sleeve when the pressure gets on. So I'm excited to see if Temesis can use that to his advantage there as Patrick Fargo gets around Trunk going in to turn 27, making the overtake stick. Fabrizio now looking to cling onto the back of Fargo, get the DRS and fly on by. And is that someone going into pit lane? No, Marlin Lob still P12. Not doing great. Oh, we got Lynette in the chat for Cameron. Nice to see support for the man from Northern Ireland as well. Temesis flying currently, not quite in the DRS of Lockett Clout, but he's definitely improving. He's slowing down the gap. He's catching up. It was 1.4, it's now 1.25. I'm hoping Temesis can make inroads on the man in front, the German in the AlphaTauri, which could have been next year if Mick Schumacher had beaten Nick de Vries, but unfortunately not. Temesis now falling back a little bit, it seems, so hopefully Lockett Clout isn't going to dominate this race, but that is a possibility. Ero Laxa in P3, hunting down the Mercedes. Does he have DRS? Yes, he does. We'll be able to catch up to Temesis. Nice to see Boyman in the chat, a bit of support for Apo, and there's a spinner, but I can't tell who for. I'm going to say it's for Porbeck, I believe. He looks like he's spanned once more. Really unfortunate for him. Oh, a heavy hit into the wall for Fabrizio there. I'll be amazed if he doesn't have some kind of wing damage there. That looked like a heavy shunt. But what do I know? Apo in P9 for everyone wondering. Cruising on there, but it's Modify King going to get the move. Yeast makes the move on Banks, but this is more entertaining. Modify King, oh, squeeze to the wall. But now around the outside of turn two, he spins into Thomas Litwa. Thomas Litwa appearing to escape without damage, but Modify King absolutely using a front wing end plate. Martin Lobb now making the move. It's really unfortunate stuff from Modify King. Patrick Farga and Fabrizio also opting to pit for a change of front wing and a new set of tyres. Real idea on those medians. I'm not sure he'll make it 21 laps, but it's worth trying. It's better than driving with damage as Ennis attempting to get out of last position. Look at Clout steaming away. And Temesis looking more likely to fall into the clutches of Ero Laxa. Lena Schulz then catch up to Paul Nadler, the German, up in front. We're going to see what happens there. Ennis making the move on Fabrizio. Fabrizio's new tyres obviously not working. Ennis going a little bit wide into that corner, possibly in an illegal overtake. But we will find out later on. Let's see what's going on. Martin Lobb very close to the back of Litwa. We're going to see, does Litwa pit? Does he have front wing damage that we aren't aware of? It's not showing up in the car, but rear wing damage this year is a lot smaller. And Litwa into the pit lane. Yes, he does. That incident with Modify King's really hurt him. Modify King, however, opting to stay out. Clearly doesn't think the damage is that bad. We're going to find out. But I think this is devastating for his race. Modify King's race, that is. Andreas next up. In the train, just behind Captain Emre and Banks. He knows to keep his cool, stay in the DRS, make the overtake later on when it matters. Banks falling out of the DRS range of Yeast and looking very under pressure from the man from Turkey. Can Captain Emre make the move on this next straight? There's 3 DRS straights ahead of him. Maybe he won't want to make the move too soon, but he's going to make it soon enough. Is Emre going to make it here? The DRS is activated. He's going to go into the inside. No, pulls out of it for now. Makes sense, but he sacrifices his run coming into the second DRS straight. Not really what you want to do. Overtake is going to be harder to come by, especially when Yeast is going as slowly as he is. Clearly an issue's occurred there as Ero Laxa makes the overtake on Temesis. And we have a yellow flag in the midfield. And I believe it's for Patrick Farga. Yes, yes. Patrick Vargas spinning somewhere, unfortunately. But no DNFs yet after 6 laps of running. I'm quite proud of my boys for being able to do this. Um, Usually there's at least 2 crashes by now, but so far not any. um, we're going to find out soon. Andreas falling away from the pack a little bit now. 1.4 seconds behind. Oh, he is on controller, and this is not a track that suits the controller. This track suits the wheel. The controller, if you don't know, is better at traction and braking. The wheel is better at turning, as Thomas Littwer appears to be pitting again. Clearly, even more damage back onto those old hard tyres. Are they going to make it to the end of the race? I'm not so sure, but it's worth a try. Patrick Farger also pitting, so possibly actually contact between those two. Patrick Farger opting to retire in the pit lane. Something in his day as Banks has spun. Oh, just before the DRS straight, Banks has spun. He's still got the DRS, but he's down to P8, possibly P9, maybe even P10 if the Alpine and Alfa Romeo can pass him, which they can. Banks losing out quite a lot of time there, falling down to P10. Still a big gap to the cars behind. The field seems to be very spread out there. As Apo gets a 3-second time penalty 6 laps into this race. Littwer as well getting a penalty. Not what you want to see. As Ririne, the first to pit, doesn't appear to have any damage here. But he's going very aggressively on these hard tyres, you're going to have to say. I believe it's going to be the hard tyres at least. Let's see. Nope, he is fixing a front wing issue. Okay, that makes sense. He's pitted early onto the hard tyres. Get rid of the front wing. It's essentially damage management here for him. But he's shown his speed. He could very easily do pretty well here. We've got a spin, and it's yeast out of the race. So there's a massive crash. Oh dear! And the safety car has been called out. I didn't quite get to see what had happened. But that is a heavy shunt there, and Captain Emre without a front wing. Obviously, he's been caught up in the incident. That's so unfortunate for him. Yulman just joining, but it is too late. The race has already taken part. What next? I don't know. Yeast has been invited to the party. He is able to join. I'm not sure he will, but we're going to see. Yeast, join, please. I need a co-commentator. I need somewhere to breathe. I don't have that luxury as of yet. But Yeast doesn't have the luxury of a car on track, so I understand why he may not be wanting to join us today. We'll see. We will see, however. He did say he would join when the first safety car happened. He didn't think he'd cause a safety car, admittedly, but what can you do? The top 3 all into the pit lane here, and Ririne is going to be really hurt from this. What tyres are they going on to? You'd have to assume the hards. Yep, on all 3 counts, it's the hard compound tyre. Not much of a shock. Hopefully he won't swear. I will pardon his French before that happens, don't worry. Martin Lobb on the hard tyres already, opting to stay out. So does Banks. Interesting from those two, obviously not wanting to do 15, 17 or so laps on the medium tyres. That makes sense. Ririne only just getting up to P7, but he was P4, losing a position to Andreas, but no one else, so a relatively good recovery from him. Could have been much worse there. Apo up to P8. A few people than RPM Yeast leaving the session. I have a feeling he won't be joining us. Just a little feeling. But who else could I commentate? I'm not so sure. Oh, that's definitely a... Sorry, fallback. That's really bad timing. But that was quite a severe pit lane cross. I might have to report that. Fortunately, I'm really sorry. Oh. Yes, the pullback now coming through on those hard tyres. Fabrizio already pitted onto the hard, staying on them. Littwer straight behind from now. If there are no more safety cars, I have a feeling that Martin Lobb and Banks are in a spot of bother. Without any more safety cars, they will have to pit again. No one else around them will, barring possibly Ivan Belov and Roger. Well, they may have to pit. Who else? Ennis and the medium runners. So Lottie Viking. I'm not so sure those tyres can go 17 laps, but I think it's a better option. Admittedly, I do believe it was a better option to pit onto the mediums and stay onto the hard tyres. You may not have track position, but you can pit again. And it's all in your hands. That's fairly something I'm trying to say. Martin Lobb and Jakob Zizek or Neuschob and Banks. No safety car means they're out of the points. Lottie Viking can survive without another safety car. And yep, if you've seen the comment section, you'll see that Yeast has denied to commentate the rest of this race, which is understandable. That makes sense. Yeast, he's finished one race this year and he won it, but he's only finished one race this year, so he's DNF'd in every race in F3, including the sprint round. So unfortunate. We're going to find out what happened later on, I imagine. I'm excited to see that, as the should of this tier. The fate of this tier is essentially in my hands, so that should be cool. That should be incredible. I better turn the racing line on. But yes, again, while nothing is happening, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, if you're enjoying it of course, and check out the description. The link below. The Ero Discord. Sign up. You have to do a 50% race around Britain and a short qualifying session around Jeddah, which it feels long, but trust me, it won't feel long. Don't worry. And then you'll be able to race with us. Still, we're on round 8. There's 17 rounds, so there'll be 9 rounds left after this. Plenty of action. You'll love it. You'll love it. Huh. So Yeast letting us know. So he lost his front wing and then was collected by Emre. How unfortunate. But the safety car is coming in to the pit lane. This screen doesn't work. Like this, hide the UI. Look at Clout getting ready to start lap 9. When's he gonna go? It's gonna be early. Yes, it is. Coming straight out the final corner. He go. Tamis looking very close to the back of Ero Laxo, looking to go around the outside of turn 1. Can he make the move work? Lots of weaving behind. People trying to warm up their tyres. Not quite able to get the overtake is Tamis. Ennis getting overtaken in the back of the field. Thomas Litwell and Fabrizio appearing to get terrible starts. Not quite sure what happened there. Ennis settling for P14. Roger Well looking right on the back of Ivan Belov. Is he going to make the move stick? There is no move to stick, my apologies, as Roger Well goes wide, possibly picking up a time penalty. Banks securing the position for now, and it's a yellow flag in the back of the field. Thomas Litwa too wide around the loop. Andreas on the inside, making the overtake. Perfectly well executed. Apo now looking to also capitalise, not able to do so as of right now, coming into this chicane. But on the exit, who knows? He cuts the corner. Really not going to help his cause. Emre possibly going to get a bit of a run on Apo now. Who knows? Rireen right on the back of Andreas. However, zoom. Sorry. Andreas not getting the slipstream of Banks, to at least the full slipstream. Rireen all on the back of Andreas. France v Belgium. Who's going to win? Usually France. And again, yes, France wins for now, unless Andreas can keep it around the outside, which he marginally can. Leave me alone, Luke. Stop bullying. No overtakes looking like they're going to materialise for now, unless Captain Emre can go for a move on Apo. He's going to go round the outside, gets the inside for turn 2, but pulls out of the move before he can do any harm with it. Makes sense. The Williams right behind the F4 guys, looking to make mincemeat of their F3 brethren. But this is what happens when I come to my own. I go crazy. My mouth is dry and I've got 14 laps left. Give me 14 good laps, boys. That's what I want to see. Or 14 boring laps if you want my voice to recover quite soundly. Hopefully I don't have to do this in F2. Well, I'm definitely not commentating F2. Thank the Lords. Oh, I don't know anymore. The top 3 seem rather spread out, but behind Banks it is a train of astronomical proportions all the way down to P13. Everyone's so close together. The DRS immense. Apo going for a very brave move. Oh, no spinning apparently. I don't know how Andreas has survived that. Apo, that was a insane move, and it's not worked out for you. It's Captain Emre now goes round the outside, heading into turn 14. Is Emre going to go for a move on Andreas as well? He's a bit boxed in. Apo keeping the move there, but there's contact. Apo pushing Andreas a little bit, and Apo losing the momentum. Andreas securing P7, now looking like Captain Emre on the hunt still once more, using the ERS. Around the outside he goes. Ivan Belov also looking to capitalise. So does Roger Well. Roger Well not able to make the move on the Ferrari Russian. Apo somehow staying in P8. Loose momentum really struggling for him. Captain Emre just about sticking out ahead of Ivan Belov, who looks to be very much under pressure from the Williams behind. This is fantastic racing. I've loved every second of it. And Jamesis out of ERS, that's important to note. I know his rivals will be licking their lips at that. Martin Loeb's absolutely the man who can actually see the damage currently. Martin Loeb will be very excited. Jamesis, that ERS clearly playing to bad negative effects as he's falling away from Naxa and Lockheed, who are in a world of their own today, it appears. Fantastic speed that no one else can even come close to, unfortunately. Looking for the next overtake potential opportunity, however, and it doesn't look like there's many, but Lottie Viking and Roger Well, who are experienced battling each other, they know what it's like, they know how each other drive, and Roger Well is under pressure, not quite looking like he's going to be overtaken, but they are looking close, and I believe Lottie Viking is usually the faster driver. I don't know how they did in F3. Well, I do actually, because Molly Viking got a P2, and Roger Well was apparently on track for a podium, but span. 2 very fast drivers. As Apo going for a move on Andreas, gets it done around the outside. Andreas pulling out before the corner even starts. Fantastic stuff, and Tamesis is going very slowly now, holding up the train behind. These hard tyres, pardon me, not working out for him whatsoever. Not getting in the grip. Lovely gold helmet, but it's just not working. Lena's also flashing, but so far ahead of me, so I'm not sure you could even see. What about Captain Emre? Going to quickly check. Going to the telemetry. Captain Emre's on 50% ERS. Laxa pushing like a demon, but it's not looking like it's going to mean anything now. It's Roger Well, Lottie Viking. Clearly something has happened there. Lottie Viking going for a move into the loop, not quite paying off, but they're falling out of the DRS range of the cars ahead. So it'd be a good time for Ivan Karakov to get a little bit of a move on. Andreas falling down the field. Captain Emre around the outside, getting the move done in the DRS zone. Now, next up, Apo, Furova, Pahipi in the Alpine. Out of DRS range of Ririne. The Alfa Romeo guys doing a fantastic job so far. Captain Emre around the outside into the last corner. Apo, is he able to defend? Not quite. Keeps Emre close to the wall, but who's going to get the DRS? None of them. They were perfectly side by side. Emre out of the DRS. Apo able to push that a little bit more, keeping P7 for now. But Apo does look very much like he's defending a lot more than he's attacking. He looks stuck here. And the overtake appears inevitable. Rireen only 2 tenths behind Banks now, so this field, the spread is looking very, very close now that Temesis is falling off. Even Martin Lobb able to get the overtake done. However, Rireen with a 3-second time penalty. That's huge for the race, huge for the championship, and huge for the teammate battle he has with Martin Lobb currently. All the time Martin Lobb stays at the head of this train, Martin Lobb benefits. We've got to get a flag. Who is it for? No one. Okay. I think I saw someone's wings fly. If it may be Poorbeck's. Is it Poorbeck? Yeah, Poorbeck losing an end plate. Is he going to squash Molly King? No, but Molly King does appear to be going very slow behind him. Oh, Roger Well, my apologies. Not entirely sure what's happened with the wing damage here. But Poorbeck giving the position up, thankfully. Banks able to overtake Temesis. Rireen going very far out, around the outside, looking like the move. Also inevitable, a little bit of contact, but don't get stuck together, don't get glued into the wall. Temesis going deep into the final corner. Rireen with the switchback, fantastic battling. And Rireen now pushing Banks, not able to get the DRS. Coming down to the final corner, Temesis and Rireen side by side. Who's going to make the overtake work? Oh, nearly touching, nearly touching. Who's going to get the better exit? Rireen losing the car a little bit, and Temesis is going to secure the move unless Rireen sticks it into turn 5. Yes, he does. Not a corner. You go too wide. Temesis forced to go wide. Rireen now round the outside. Fantastic battling. Temesis has to give up the position, but this has allowed Banks to fly away now. A 1.5 second gap in between the Ferrari and the sister Alfa Romeo, as Temesis gets another 3-second time penalty. And please, Luke, can you get that Tinder hot out of here? Get out. Get out. I can't do the Luke Bennett accent very well, my apologies. Ivan Karakov appearing to spin. Oh dear, I don't know why that's happened. A bit of an unsafe rejoin, but we'll see later on. Roger getting in the move. Looks like there was contact maybe with possibly Andreas. A bit of an unnatural way to spin, so it wouldn't surprise me, should be reported. Laxa. I've not spoken about Laxa too much for a while. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff, Luke. Beautiful stuff, Watch. Laxa in the DRS of Lockheed. He's pushing with all of his might. He may have less ERS, but he's got more will. 6 seconds, the gap between these guys and the cars behind. Martin Lobb waiting for this safety car that may never come. Really unfortunate for him, and Banks, admittedly, but it doesn't seem like their luck is coming to fruition. They need a safety car basically now. Or the later they go, the more likely there is people put onto the softs. That has to be remembered. But it's not looking too fabulous for these guys. Rireen, with his 3 seconds, hurting his chances even more of doing it. So this inter-team battle does still look very interesting. The heat is still on. For Britsko relaxing at the back of the field, a very calm race as a Lolly Viking, I believe Appo again getting a 3-second time penalty. Oh dear, let me check the penalties. Yep, Appo with 6 seconds, so is Temesis, and Lolly Viking picking up a 3 seconds of his own. That's going back to the tyres of every driver. Unless is that in the way? It feels like it's in the way a little bit, isn't it? Yeah. Everyone, we know what their tyres are on. It's just Banks and Martin Lobb that are under pressure. Rireen nearly catching up. Oh, Appo going wide again. Rireen nearly catching up to Banks. Every time he does, Banks gets a DRS from Martin Lobb and flies away. Martin Lobb's tyres looking very suspect as Captain Emre making the overtake on Temesis, who just has no pace on these tyres. I don't particularly understand why, but Temesis is not able to make this car work. There's no kick in the engine. How unfortunate for him, looking like he's going to fall down the order quite quickly. Unless he can make the move on Captain Emre again, diving it down into turn 1, sacrificing the inside line for turn 2. Captain Emre keeps the move, a little bit of contact though. Appo right hot on the heels, looking like he's going to go for a move himself very, very soon. Looks like everyone can make a move on Temesis at this rate. Around the outside of there, absolutely not Appo. That's not going to happen. Appo knows it, thinks better of it. Andreas relaxing here, knows that just staying here gives him P7 with the time penalties. composure wins in these types of tracks, these types of circuits. Lax are still hot on the heels of the man in front. Martin Lobb not losing that much time, it has to be said actually. Martin Lobb with some very, very good pace today on older tyres. It's just not working out. And Rireen finally getting DRS on Banks. He can now start to make his way up the field again. These two very much in a battle. Banks very, very, very close to the rear of Martin Lobb. Which way is he going to go? To the inside or the outside? Inside he goes. He's going to get the move done before turn 27. But Martin Lobb is going to get the DRS back on Banks. So expect another move into turn 1. Apo making the move onto Mises. In the background, Martin Lobb straight down for the overtake there. Mises once again DRS activated. It's done the dummy on Emre, didn't work. Does it work on Apo? We're going to find out. Too wide into turn 1. A little bit of contact, a little bit of pushing, a little bit of shoving. Mrs. Mayfield, he wasn't given enough space. We're going to find out. Apo, is he got the balls to go around this corner too wide? No, he doesn't. He pulls out. A very, very wise move. If you don't think it's going to work, it's not going to work. Smeesis with another 3-second penalty now. That is 9 seconds of penalty. So his race is effectively over here. Mercedes not having a great day. Apple to the inside of the loop. A very dangerous place to overtake. Can they keep it clean? Very clean and, frankly, a fantastic overtake. That should be put onto the Overtakes of the Month segment hosted by Camille Adams-Zizek. Very excited to see what's going on. What is going on in the background? Tamis is getting a terrible run out there. Morley Viking going for the move. Can't quite make it. Andreas next up. But it's not quite materialising for now. Tamis is going just so slowly. Slowing down the field. Slow is Zappo admittedly, but there's more because they're battling Captain Emre in a world of his own. Tamis going for another move. Is it going to work? No, thinks better of it for now, but he's going to get the run down to turn 1 as, oh no, Martin Lobb speeding into the pit lane, ruining his race once and for all. Going to see Banks staying out, still waiting for the safety car that's going to save him. Not so sure it will at this rate. Tamis not able to get the run on Apo, stuck behind. The ERS still flashing. Is he going to go inside here? No, thinks better of it. We saw before Tamis on the outside. It simply doesn't work. One of you will have to go wide. This time they thought better of it and went one wide. But Noddy Viking right on the back of Tamis here. Ennis into the pit lane. So is Porbeck, I believe. What's going on in the back? Oh no, they're battling. Sorry. Really sorry. I'm gonna see what's going on there. Possibly, but I don't think so. Usually, yeah, it could be at this track. Yeah, that is true. Tamis getting another corner cut warning there. Christ alive. And Martin Lobb settling for P12. He's going to have to push. If he can get anywhere maybe better than P10, I guess he'd be happy with himself. I think it's unlikely. But we're going to see. We are going to see indeed. Apo staying in P6. Banks yet to pit. It's got to be soon, surely. Banks, those hard tyres can only go so long. And yes, he pits. He pits from P3 on track. Falling down the order. He's going to go into a set of the, I believe, the soft tyres. Yep. And he's going to maybe lose out to Martin Lobb on track. The 5-second penalty obviously going to slow him down. We're going to see. This looks very interesting. Who's going to get track position? Martin Lobb or Banks? And ends up being quite clearly Banks here. Much better lap on those old hards than Martin Lobb on the new softs for whatever reason. 3Ms, well done, Luke. I did notice it. But now, going back to the field, only 5 laps of this Grand Prix left. As Roger Well gets a 3-second time penalty. Ooh, that's not going to help his chances fighting against Banks and Martin Lobb, is it? This has been carnage. Tamis back up to P5. Captain Emre looking destined for P3. Going to have to interview the same people every week. I'm bored of it. Ennis, Iwan, and Porbeck still battling. It's absolute carnage there. Porbeck and Iwan, the real life friends, are going side by side. Apo nearly pushing Tomesis through the final chicane. But is it going to come to fruition? These two are battling so much. There doesn't appear to be any smarts going on here. Tomesis still no DRS. You'd think he would have saved at some point. Can't quite do it now. Apo round the outside. Who's going to get the DRS this time? I believe it's going to be Tomesis, but I'm always willing to be proved wrong. Who gets it? Yep, Tomesis. Looking like he's going to go to the outside of Apo. Apo closing off the inside. Wants the outside of turn 2. What's it going to be? Oh, contact. A bit of pushing again. Tomesis kind of shoving his way through. Apo goes wide. Tomesis secures the position. That may be reported. Ken in the chat, happy to see you, bro. How you doing? Bit of support for Linus here. Linus pushing. Only 5 tenths behind now. Incredible will from the man from Germany. Good to see. Andreas going very wide on that corner. Definite warning, but everyone here is going to time penalty, so who cares? Tomesis with his 9 seconds, still holding on for dear life. Wants to win on track. Who knows? Maybe a few penalties or warnings could have been removed. We're going to find out very shortly. But Apo, now Apo is the one going slowly there. Not getting the best run. He's still going to be in DRS range, but Tomesis appears to be pushing a little bit more now. Lottie Viking, he's got the slipstream. And Ray is looking like he'd go for a move anywhere on track. He is so close to the back of Lottie Viking. What's it going to be? Not quite. We're going to get a flag, and it's Iwan. Oh no, is it going to be a safety car? Ah! Oh, it's a safety car on lap 21, and this race has been thrown on its head. If I was Martin Lobb, I would pit immediately for another set of softs. Who's coming into the pit lane? Lucky Glau and Ero Ps are not able to pit yet, but they will get another chance because they beat the safety car. Rear Captain Emre pitting. Apo stays out, so does Andreas, so does Ivan Banks and Martin Lobb, who clearly thinks he could get the penalty removed. I'm going to assume, otherwise he's really hurt his chances here. I think he's going to fly down the order. Now, if I was Laxa, if I was Lockig, one of you's going to pit, the other's going to stay out. I don't know who's who, but these are the things you have to think about. If I'm Lockig and I pit, Laxa may go, oh, I'll get the track position, thank you very much. And before you know it, Laxa's the one defending. Laxa's the one with the power. You can have softer tyres, but you can't overtake in Sector 1, can you? You can overtake in Sector 2, you can overtake in Sector 3, but it's not many traction zones. There's not many places where you can zoom past. And even if you can, there's another track, there's another DRS straight immediately afterwards. When the safety car comes in, there are 3 laps until DRS is activated. This safety car is going to come in on lap 23. We're going to have 2 laps of racing. There will be no DRS, only slipstream provided. So this is going to be a good classic ending to Ero F3 Season 8 at Round 8 at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. I'm very excited for this. I'm your host, Liam Cross, as always. And we have 4 laps of racing left. 2 laps of hardcore racing left. I'm very excited to commentate on this. We've got 15 drivers still in the session. 2 F2 elites, Lottie Viking and Roger Well. Fabrizio, trialist. Ennis and Laxa, the Aston Martins. Lucky Glau and Captain Emre, who, by the way, Captain Emre, for some reason, really struggling, going down from P4 to P9. Not too sure what happened. Martin Lobb opting to pit again, getting a new set of softs on, which is a good, I'd say it's a smart idea. He's going to pit. They're going to get replaced after a 5-second pit, obviously. He has spare softs at his disposal. This works. But what is really important, Lucky Glau didn't pit. Lucky Glau stayed onto the hard tyres. Ero Laxa on the soft. So I was saying that track position may be important, but newer tyres may be even more important. I don't know. All I know is Lucky Glau is going to be very vulnerable here at the restart. He's going to have to defend like a lion, as Fernando Alonso would say. But unfortunately, Fernando Alonso, there is no Esteban Ocon to defend for him. You have to defend yourself. This is going to be heart-wrenching to watch. Oh, this is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. The safety car is going to come in this lap, so I believe Ennis, Paulbeck and Fabrizio aren't going to catch up to the safety car. Maybe Martin Lobb won't either, but we're going to find out. Martin Lobb, 12th, Rireen 7th with a 3-second time penalty. Let me check that. I'm going to find out now. Rireen, 3 seconds. No, the safety car's going to come in now. They can't do one racing lap. I mean, maybe the safety car won't come in. Nope, safety car in this lap. 2 laps of racing yet to go. Apo, stop looking at the screen. Get back on track. You're distracting yourself. Martin Lobb might not make it to the safety car, but I think he will. It's going to be tight. Ennis, Paulbeck, Fabrizio should have stayed out. Sacrificed the tyres for a bit there, but Lucky Clout, everyone knows what's going on here. When is Lucky Clout gonna go on these hard tyres? I imagine it'll be as late as he can. Yes, it is. It's not quite turn 28, but he goes. He goes quite early. I'm gonna have to give him credit for Laxa. A bit caught out there. Andreas looking very, 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 very hungry on the back of Apo. What can he do? Is he going to go for the move? I don't know. 3 wide from the guys behind, especially the Ferraris. Are they going to make contact? Yes, they do. Oh, dear. Ivan Karakov out of the race. Oh, dear. What is going on here? Banks with damage. Tamisis up into P6. There's fucking, pardon my French, there is carnage in the back of this pack. Bloody Viking now making the overtake on Banks. Martin Lobb looking very feisty as well. Lucky Clout with a 3-second time penalty. So does Ivan Karakov. Lucky Clout, even with this defending, might not even come for fruition. It might not even matter. Laxa's going to get the position either way. Unless Laxa spins out, which he did in Imola. He would have won, but he didn't. We're going to find out what happens now. Can Lucky Clout keep the position? I don't believe so. Rireen getting the overtake done on Andreas. Rireen very, very fast. 3-second time penalty. P4 for him, but can he go any further? Paulbeck making the overtake on Ivan Karakov. Ivan clearly not enjoying his time today. Paulbeck spinning out, losing the positions here. Oh my God. Ero Laxa now 3 attempts behind Lokic, but with that 3-second time penalty, it may not matter, like I said, but he's going to go for the move on track anyway. It's even sweeter on track. No one wants to win because of provisional penalties. Apo now 6-second time penalty behind, which is going to sacrifice the podium for him. Oh, Rireen nearly into the back of him, braking very, very late, getting a bit ahead of himself. We've got another yellow flag. It's Simon Karakov once more spinning out the final chicane. Lokic Lout defending the move. Laxa is going to go for a dive, or no, he thinks better of it. Intelligent thinking. Tamisis down the outside of Andreas into turn 2, inside line. Tamisis gets the move done. Rireen looking very, very hot on the back of Apo still. Laxa playing it calm, doesn't want to spin out again, but he's going to get the move on track. Surely with these newer tyres, he's going to have to think. Laxa is sweating like a madman. Doesn't know how many time penalties people have in the back. Ivan Karakov spins off once more. Andreas now looking in P6, slowing down. Paulbeck retires from the race in the pit lane. I imagine Ivan Karakov will do the same. Pay no attention to the yellow flags. There's another spinner, and it's Banks, in fact. No, not Banks. Martin Lobb spins out. Oh dear, Martin Lobb's not going to get this AlphaTauri seat, is he? Alfa Romeo seat, is he? Oh dear, Rireen. Oh no, sorry, Rireen's also spun out. Oh God. Who's going to do it? Martin Lobb gets the overtake done around the outside. It looks like Martin Lobb out of nowhere is going to get the moves. Marine, no front wing. Oh my God. This race has been absolutely amazing. I'm out of breath. Or am I? We've got one more sector to go. Push with all of your might, Linus. If you want this move, you're going to have to fight for it. We've got another yellow flag. It's Paulbeck once more. Oh, Emre and Bloody Viking side by side. Banks looking to go for the move as well. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Look at Clout's going to keep the move into there. Captain Emre into the wall. No front wing. Oh my God. Contact made. Out of this race. Captain Emre's going to get no points. Banks also spins. No front wing. Oh my God. Lux is going to get the win provisionally there. Apo also into the wall. Don't know what happened there. He deliberately crashed clearly. What a chaotic end. Ero F3. Jeddah Corniche circuit. Oh, what a Grand Prix. What a Grand Prix. What an absolute Grand Prix. Ero Laxa is going to win this race, followed by Lucky Clout in second, and that Andreas out of nowhere making out the third podium position. Apo crashes into the wall, but he gets P4, and I believe, if I'm correct, Banks has got no points. Captain Emre has no points. Rireen has some points somewhere, possibly. Martin Lobb is driver of the day, and Martin Lobb is going to be taking the Alfa Romeo seat from Eddie Mins, who can't participate anymore. What a fantastic Grand Prix. Rireen leaves the session in anger. Everyone is in anguish, and my that, if you're watching this, welcome to ERO. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the link in the description below. That was absolutely fantastic. That is the best racing I've ever got to commentate on. A bit chaotic, a bit perfect. I don't know what to say. There was clean battling, there was dirty battling, there was some amazing driving, very fast drivers finding themselves on track. Apo only gets P4 because of a 6 second time penalty. Bloody Viking from F4 somehow into P5. Roger Well also P6. That's incredible stuff. Martin Lobb gets P7 with the fastest lap of the race, and that's going to be a very, very, very fine 7 points for him. Tomesis rounding out P8, not the best performance from him, slowing down on the hard tyres, but he's got there in the end. Ennis out of nowhere, wasn't even the safety car train when it come in, gets P9, followed by Banks. Somehow, I can't believe it, gets P10 even after spinning on the final corner, losing his front ring. Trunk gets P11, Riverine, it could have been so much more. Same for Captain Emre, both spinning on the final lap of this race. I believe there's going to be reports galore tonight. Paulbeck P14, followed by Ivan Karakov and Thomas Litwa. Yeast and Reload Dia not being able to finish this race. I've been impressed. That was absolutely fantastic. I'm going to get the podium sitters in for an interview right now with you, but I am flabbergasted. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. The penalties are hugely important. Absolutely massive. The penalties are hugely important. I don't know which penalties are going to be removed. I don't know which penalties are going to get added. But this is for now. This is for now, provisionally, the results. Laxa, his first win of the season. I know he's going to be ecstatic with that. We're going to get to talk to him later. Lockie Glau, another podium for him. He knows he could have done better today, but he's still got P2. He can't complain too much. And Andreas, his first podium of the season, his first good points of the season, he's going to be ecstatic. Let's get them all into a party. And boy, I'm losing my throat, so I can't wait to let someone else speak today. Whew, I'm talking like an auctioneer. Ero Laxa, where are you, my friend? I know he's probably somewhere with the Pixies, with the Daisies. This is a dream come true for him, I imagine. We're going to find out. The F4 champion from last year, now in F3, doing as well as he could. Let's get him into the party. Next up, Lokit Kalau, the championship leader, extending his lead once more. He knows he's by far the best driver in this tier. Gets another P2. Further increases his championship lead. And Andreas, we're going to invite to the party. I'm not sure if he can join. Lockett Clout, commiserations, my friend. P1 looked like it was on the cards for you until that 3-second time penalty. How do you feel after that very, very, very high action, high intensity race?
Yeah, not cool in the last step, I think. Or yeah, the 3 second penalty. Oh my god, I'm so stupid.
Do you think the penalty was fair? Was it? Would
Yeah,
you
it was
appeal?
track limit. So, but
Okay, fair.
was all my.
Well, you know, it looked like you were going to in the first part of this race. It really did look like you were going to dominate, and then once everyone had pitted, Laxa found his feet, was right on the back of you. Laxa depleted his ERS to get behind you, and then just start behind. Did you? At what point were you sweating? And when the safety car came in, or not? No, when you saw that you had stayed out and Laxa had pitted onto hot softs, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know what I do in this situation. So yeah, uh, come on. Yeah,
Exasperation.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, you know, it was a fantastic performance, nevertheless, Lockig. It's another P2. You extend your championship lead by another 15 points. You are now 44 points ahead. of Temesis. You should be proud of yourself either way. But we're going to move on to the leader. Andreas isn't yet able to chat. Linus,
Yes.
your first win in the Ero F3. It's been a long time coming. How do you feel? I'm imagining it's a lot of delight.
It's quite okay. I can't lie. I'm
Only
not feeling
okay?
super. I'm not feeling super great about it. Just a bit of the Imola last week is in my brain, but apart from that, it was a nice race. Can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, you won. You seem quite chill for someone who's just won a Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, the race was quite chill. I was fighting before the safety car. I was fighting with Cameron. But it was quite okay. Like nothing to worry about because Cameron then got damaged. Then got the safety car. We all pitted for hards. And I was right behind Paul, and I knew that I had to stick with him, because if I would have not done that, it would have been race over.
Yeah.
There was quite a few yellow flags, and I was always screaming, "No, this can't be true now," because I always thought there's going to be a safety car. But it never was, luckily, until 22 or something. And yeah, I first thought I'm going to stay out because I had 5 drivers behind me who were on hards. But then I saw that the gap was 19 seconds, and I knew the pit lane is around 18 seconds.
Yes, yeah.
So I was just going for it.
And
Yeah?
and going for it, you did. You really went for it. I don't believe you got the win on track, if I'm correct.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, I didn't get to see
Yeah.
that. Chaos unfolded behind you, so I was a bit more interested in that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the win itself was fantastic. I mean, What were you thinking when Lukic didn't pit for hards? What were you thinking, Linus?
Nothing really. I knew that I was going to do the opposite of him. Because if he would have pitted for hards... No, not the opposite. I would have pitted for soft anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Because we were both staying ahead of Apo, so... And yeah, Paul was... Did you see the pit entry of Paul? Or the not pit entry?
Of who?
Of Paul? Lukic? Did you see
I
it?
didn't see the pit entry, no, but I have a feeling it was illegal, just a hunch.
I guess I could give him at least the illegal pit entry, maybe for the collision a bit more.
Okay, well, if you report it, Linus, that's up to you.
No, he's German, you know. Yeah, so I knew that I was going to go soft.
Yeah, that makes sense.
After the second time, I had really the exactly thought to do on top or staying out. So I saw the 18 seconds of Ampo, so but it's okay. It's racing though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just racing, but it was fantastic racing to watch. It was a delight to commentate on it, I have to say. And I'm out of breath. I feel like I need to go to sleep. Calm down. That ending, absolutely incredible. So I probably am gonna end it now. But thank you for the interview, folks.
But one thing, Liam.
Oh yes, yeah, carry on.
Do you remember what happened last season in Jeddah?
Remind me.
I won and got the title. Bit of coincidence, isn't it?
Oh yes, I did. I commentated on your victory, and I get to commentate on you winning in Jeddah again. I'm happy.
Yes.
Yes. I'm happy to do it twice. You're stuck with me now. Let me quickly round up the standings. I believe I've got everyone there. Where does this put you, Linus? All of a sudden, Linus, you are 4th in the championship.
Who's ahead of me?
Apo, Temesis, and Lukic.
Oh. And behind me?
Murphy, Reloadia, and Andreas.
Oh yeah, all there aren't. Yeah, no, not going to say anything.
I'm not going to be able to get the constructors done today, but yeah, so he's Lokic on 122 points, followed by Tamisa's on 78, Apo on 65, Laxa on 52, Murphy on 49, Relo Dion on 45, followed by Andreas on 43, and Alex Wells on 41. Smerteroni is no longer with us, and Banks on 41 as well, and then it drops down to Porbeck on 31. But fantastic showing. Really good, really good showing. Fantastic battle. It was an honour to commentate. Nevertheless, however, this has been round 8 of Ero F3 Season 8 at the Jeddah Corniche circuit in Saudi Arabia. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I certainly enjoyed commentating. I think Laxa and Paul enjoyed racing. If you wanted to support the channel, like the video, subscribe as well if you want to see more of what we do. There's 2 races later on today at 7 p.m. PC and PSFT, and from tomorrow you get to see PCF1. 4 p.m. you get to see Diego Moraes, Cameron Downs, Erwin Courtin, Tony Ritchie,
Drake.
Tom Maurer.
Drake.
Drake Dempsey is racing as well. I was not aware of that, but Drake Dempsey will be racing. A very, very special guest. Good to have around in the paddock. Also a Sauber esports driver, so congratulations to Drake. Very, very happy to see you rise to the heights you're rising to. But then also at 6 p.m, you'll be able to get to watch PSF1. I do this every day, every week. Race King, Aurelian Lepenrug, Willem de Rugner, Liam Cross, Kali Polkinen. You know, get to see some fantastic drivers: Joshua Evans, Jerome Fieser. Hopefully soon, Christian Rotassian. Hopefully we get to see him soon as well. It's going to be a barnstormer around the same circuit. So subscribe, get to watch the action. Or alternatively, look in the link below. Join this Discord. It's in the description. Sign up, race with us, talk to us. We're running a lot of new things now. We've got sports forums, so you don't even have to talk about Formula One necessarily. Just get to join and chat to us. But if you've not done that, no worries. I'm glad you've watched it anyway. It's been fantastic. I've been your host, Liam Cross. I don't know if Laxa and Paul, do you want to say a little goodbye in German, maybe?
Ja. Hau rein. Wiederschauen reingehauen. And thanks, Dennis. Was a good race with you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, have a nice one, guys, and I will see you next week.